evaluate differently and show them the cash and say, look, once title's clean, I'm ready to close. We could close this in 3 days. Did you, I could talk to them with confidence, so.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
for sure.
No problem.
All right, next question I see. Yeah, we appreciate everyone joining today. Thank you. Eddie, what's going on, Eddie? How you doing, man? He's asking, what niche are you mostly cold calling? And then do you know if they are going to start the sheriff sale back up anytime soon? Well, regarding, I'll let Michael Heater talk about some cold calling niches first.
Yeah, for sure. Cold calling niches. You know, don't fix something, or okay. Don't try to fix something that's not broke, right? Especially right now with what's going on with the whole COVID and the pandemics and things like that. There's a lot of these tired landlords out here, right, who have tenants who aren't paying rent, or they have tenants that they just got out who weren't paying rent and trashed the property, and now they just want to be done with it because now they have this horrible taste in their mouth getting out these tenants. It was hard enough to get tenants out, and now they have to deal with it through COVID and lost all this money. And you have tenants that will, I talked to people today that have tenants that literally will take, a furnace hot water tank in the garage door with them, on their way out, So these absentee lists, always target absentee lists. If you can stack the list, if they're absentee, vacant, tax delinquent, that's 3 levels of pain right there, those are the things I always target. And there will always be absentee, there will always be vacant, there will always be tired landlords, and tax delinquents as well. And a lot of times they'll end up on the same list. And I wouldn't personally target pre-foreclosures right now. I mean, you certainly could, and you certainly could go after them, and I'm sure you could pull deals off of them. But with this whole forbearance situation going on, you've got people that you call and they're like, well, I'm living great. I haven't paid my mortgage in a year, and I'm gonna keep doing that for as long as they let me do that, So those are just kind of people you'll continue to follow up with. So yeah, going back to it, absentee, vacant, tax delinquent. I try to target, and you can filter it down. I try to target homeowners that have owned a property for at least a year to 2, ideally 2 years if you can pull a big enough data. That way it's not like they just moved in last year. So they're more likely to have, more equity and also more motivation to sell. And then you also want to put a cap on the value of the homes, right? Because what will end up happening if you just pull this big, broad spectrum of anyone's house that amounts to any amount of number, depending on where you are in the market you're in, you'll be pulling people's, $500,000 plus vacation homes on really nice areas of town. So what I like to do is I like to find like the median price of a county, for instance, and I set that as like my market value that I'm going after when I pull a list. So
Michael, does your pitch change depending on the list you call?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't, because your job is to call somebody and tell them, hey, you owe taxes, let me buy your house. Your job is to come to someone and be nice, be happy to be talking to them, and your job is to pull that information out, right? Yep. So no, my pitch stays the same. And I just ask these discovery questions, these whys, these whats. Why are you selling your home? What's the story on this property? Before I even called you, did you have any intentions on selling this property? Questions like that. And then you just shutting up, sellers will tell you that information. So no, I don't ever change my pitch. My pitch changes. I might say a certain word or not say a certain word, but the content of what I'm saying never
Right.
changes. So.
Yeah. I think a mistake I used to do in the beginning was if I'm calling a pre-foreclosure, I would let them know that I know your house is in foreclosure, or I know your house is, you're behind in taxes. You know, that's not a good way to start the conversation. They're getting a lot of calls like that. They're getting a lot of letters and things like that. So what I do is kind of like what you just said, but in the beginning, like if I'm calling a probate or something like that, I might say, I talk to them. I say, hey, how you doing? My name's Todd. I'm a real estate investor. I'm calling regarding your property on Burt Road Street. And what I do is I'm looking, I'm buying houses, they could be pretty houses. They could be houses that might be behind on taxes. Someone might have lost their job, or someone might have passed away, or they could be a landlord. I give them all kinds of scenarios, and which I know which scenario it is, and I'm just trying to put it in their head before they tell me. If you ask them, are you looking for a fair cash offer, they might just say no. So you just keep talking, let your pitch get out there, be nice, like you said, happy, and then you throw that out there why you're really calling them. You just give them a bunch of different scenarios. So that's just the way I do it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times there's going to be a underlining thing causing them to be falling behind in taxes, causing them to be a pre-foreclosure. So the reason that they're selling is not they're behind in taxes. It's they just moved here, their cousin died, blah, 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 so they can't afford their taxes. So just make them tell you, like Mike said. That's perfect.
Yeah, the foreclosure auction, the scuttlebutt is that it's going to start up in February, but who knows?
What they said in January, if you look,
I'm here in February now, but
right. And those same pre-foreclosures, and you said we're going to go auction to January. Now it's February. So who knows how long they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing it back.
it might be September.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, I'm going to tell you that they put the moratorium through the end of March now.
Oh, so
There you go. So
sweet. I can live free a little longer.
there you go. There you go. Was there a second part to that question?
That was it.
Or-
That was
That was it.
Yep.
Okay.
Maureen, does that include tax foreclosure as well? Are they
They've
doing
just
that
put
this
Fannie Mae kind of sets the standard. They put a moratorium on any foreclosure basically. And they're all kind of going along with that. So, yeah.
Cool.
I have, my opinion is, from talking to a couple people, and I don't know this, I didn't hear anything like specific, but regarding the tax foreclosure, because they didn't have it last year, they're gonna have it this year. Because that's in September. That's a long ways away. These cities lost big time, lots and lots and lots and lots of money. So
Is that for every county?
well, I heard it in Wayne County, so I'm sure if they're doing it in Wayne County, they're going to be doing it in these other.
I meant for the September being the date.
Yeah, September's the date in Wayne, Oakland, Genesee. The first auction. The homeowners have until March 31st to catch it up or make arrangements, and then what they usually do, that's the deadline, and then they're gonna have another deadline that's gonna say, they do this every year, April, end of April, and then they're gonna have another, deadline that's gonna say at the end of May. And then once it starts getting into June, it starts getting more serious. But yeah.
Turquoise has a question about squatters being in a property. Go ahead, Turquoise.
She muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Okay. So today I did go look at a property and it does have squatters in there. So me and the seller, he didn't have the key and he didn't want to go in there, but we did see some people in there and he was just like, so I don't know if you guys still want to buy it, if you're still interested in purchasing it. but he's like, I'm just ready to get rid of it. He's like, you can just give me $1,000 and I'm ready to let it go. It looks like it need a whole lot of work. But back to the question about the squatters, how do you go about talking to them to get them out? Like, I remember Todd just said something about sight on scene.
Yep. Yeah, I have
Okay.
buyers. I have buyers that I know will buy properties sight unseen. So, I mean, I'll be more than happy with you on this deal. Because, what city is it in, Turquoise?
It's in Flint.
Okay, so, yeah, we could, I'm more than happy. I'm sure Carson is, Michael is, so, yeah, so these are,
I sold one of Todd's deals sight unseen. We're closing next week, in Flint. So, and we sold it for $15,000 sight unseen. So I don't know what area of Flint yours is in, but I definitely have.
This is actually on the one on Dayton.
Oh, really? There's squatters in there?
Yeah, it was someone in there. The house looked terrible on the outside, and I'm pretty sure it looked bad on the inside as well. But he wants it. He owes like $558 for taxes. He was just like, give me $1,000, you can have it. And I said, okay, well, I'll get back with you on that. But like I said, it's squatters in there, so I didn't know how to go buy that.
So
Right.
sell it to the squatters for $1,200 when they get their stimulus check. I'm just kidding. I mean, usually you're not going to be able to get in something like that unless you can go up and talk to the squatters, like Todd was just saying. But
Right.
hopefully, if you're getting it for $1,000, it's worth more. Something like that in that area, and I've seen the front of that house too. I would probably text it to a couple of my good buyers, say, "Hey, you interested in this house for $5,000, sight unseen, with a squatter?" But I wouldn't. I honestly just wouldn't mess with that one, being the area and the condition.
Yeah.
It's going to be you might walk away with another $500,000 type thing for a deal like that, and it's going to be hard to find a buyer. So, as far as solving that seller's problems, you can tell him he can get the tenant out, and then you'll buy it. But he probably won't even do that. At that point, he might as well just let it go back to taxes. So,
hey, Carson, would you buy it
Right.
for $200?
would I buy it for 200? I wouldn't.
Okay.
Okay. It's another one too on Brownell that also has squatters, and the seller wants $4,000 for it. He just doesn't want nothing to do with the property as well, but it has squatters. He did say something about he's trying to evict them himself, but he said like due to the COVID, the paperwork and all the court stuff is taking time. So with that being said, I can make mention the sight on scene to him if he's still interested, or if he just want to wait till evict it himself.
My first thought for something like that would be follow up with him and figure out, when his court dates are, and follow up with him after
Right.
the court date. But that's a good enough area as long as the house is solid. That is something, if you get for cheap enough, maybe you tell him we'll take it for $2,000 with the tenant, or you can evict them. You'd probably want to be less than that. I would just, if he's in the process of evicting them, what do you think he would want to sell after, or do you think if he evicted them, then his headache's gone and he would re-rent it out? What do you think?
He's willing to, he said, if I have a buyer that's willing to purchase it now with the squatters in there, he'll go ahead and do it. But a couple of buyers that I done ran into, they actually really want to see the inside of the property.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was just like, okay, well, I'll get back with him on that.
Yeah. That's, the best thing is obviously getting inside. Todd's really good with that. That's why,
Yeah.
even how we looked at a week ago where we talked to the squatter and it didn't work out so well. I'm trying to figure that out too. So I would use that line Todd said and try to, I'll come with you, or somebody bring somebody else with you and see if you can pay the tenants $50 to get inside. Tell them you're with whoever, insurance, consumers, whatever, property management company.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I mean, because if you get inside that one on Brownell, you know, it'll definitely sell. So
Okay.
that's tough. It's crazy how many
Yeah.
squatters you've come across. How are you targeting a squatters list or something?
Right.
No, it's just I just so happen to across these properties that got squatters in them. Like,
Yeah, it's just crazy.
man, it's
I don't come
crazy.
across that many, and you've probably sent me 4 in like a month. That's just crazy. But I mean, that you're doing something right. You're talking to the right people.
No, I did actually get a cold caller and a skip tracer, and they bringing me bills in left and right. With that being said, I do have 2 of them, 2 uppers I have to do tomorrow, and I set up for one next week. One I have for next Thursday. He's willing to sell both of them. He said nothing wrong with the property. It's tenants that live there. One tenant, they don't want to move, so okay, that's fine. But the other ones are willing to move, but they was looking to move anyway. But he said they are rented out. But they're not squatters, no squatters.
Good. Yeah, that's a good one. You know, it's usually better. It depends what your buyers list is like. Better if it's just vacant. You know, it's easier to get buyers through and stuff. But tenant occupied is great too. You know, especially if you get inside if
Yeah.
they're good. So, yeah, those should be good.
So like with the property on Dayton, because there's really no houses over there. It's just that house, but it's just up the street. But like I said, it looks like it needs a lot of work, and inside it got the squatters. So I wasn't really gonna even mess with
Hey.
it. I just want to know how to
Turquoise, I
deal
got,
with
a
that
couple-
situation in the future.
I got a buyer that might be interested in that. All right,
Okay,
so you'll call me or text me. My information's, I sent it on the chat room. Okay?
okay,
Yeah, I got a guy that he'll go there.
okay,
He'll go there. and
gotcha.
We'll work out something with him. We're not gonna make a lot of money, but we'll make it'll
Yeah,
pay us a couple bills.
okay. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate what else we got, guys?
I would like to ask a question about investors and cash buyers. I think it was Bree. If you're still on. Oh yeah. Hey, if you want to unmute yourself, go ahead and ask that. You're muted right now.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. So yeah, my name is Bree. I am actually from the Chicagoland area. I just moved to Columbia, Missouri, and when I was in Chicago, I got into wholesaling real estate, and I did come across 2 contracts for sellers, but I had a problem finding a buyer for these contracts. It was in the south side of Chicago, and I did do a few meetups to try to but this was after I had to cancel the contract, and I found out about the meetup app and stuff, so I was able to connect with investors there. But now I've moved to Columbia, trying to get back into the same thing. And so my goal is to get a cash buyers list, because I don't want to be back in, stuck in the same situation where I have a seller, but I don't know any cash buyers. So my question is, does anybody have advice on where I can create my own personal cash buyers list? Like I've skip traced on PropStream, and I've sent out emails, I've cold called, but I'm getting a lot of wrong numbers. I'm not getting any clicks for the emails that I send out. So any advice on that?
Yeah. So last week we did a whole entire hour and a half on dispositions, like finding buyers. So I'll give you my best advice right now, but after this, if you want to watch that, there was a lot of stuff on that too. That is on Todd's YouTube. Todd, throw your YouTube link or your name in the chat.
I will.
He's got that recorded one posted from last week. Here's what I would do if I had if I was in your position and wanted to build a buyers list. The first thing I would do is go look up on Facebook Columbia, is it wherever, Columbiaville or
Columbia, Missouri.
just Columbia? Okay, Columbia, Missouri.
I'm targeting Columbia and St. Louis, the St. Louis area though.
Well, there's a ton of buyers in St. Louis. I would go on Facebook, and depending on where, so let's say you're doing St. Louis, go to St. Louis Real Estate Investing group or whatever on Facebook. Go through and add everybody in that group. So add friend, add friend, add friend. You can only do, I would only do like 50 a day, otherwise Facebook can flag your account. But what you do is as soon as they accept your friend request, you message them and say, hey, I saw you were in this group. Are you looking to buy houses? And then most of them are going to say yes if they're in a group like that. Or they're going to be a wholesaler who might know buyers. So if, once people start accepting your requests, because now your messages will go to their main inbox, since you're friends, start sending them messages. Hey, what are you looking, if they say they are interested, what are you looking for? What do you buy? How many do you buy a month? And then go on those Facebook groups as well. I know there's Facebook groups for St. Louis. Type in, like on the search tab, type in ARV or something. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get a bunch of wholesalers posts, okay? Because wholesalers use the lingo ARV. You can type in assignable interest, and then you'll see all these wholesalers post. Go to the comment section and add all those emails that commented on those posts. So, because a lot of those people that were buyers interested in these other wholesalers' properties commented and said, hey, interested, send to this email. So go add those people as friends, get their email them, ask them if they're interested in buying. Facebook is all you really need as far as a buyer's list. I know a guy in Flint who's doing 10 deals a month, and all he uses is Facebook for his buyer's list. The second thing I would do is, once you get a property, go to the recently solds in that neighborhood and call those owners and call the agents, because that's been really good for me. But Facebook is where I would start if you're on Facebook. Other than that, to get, meetups are great. That's not a lot of that happening right now, but I would start with Facebook, and then I would be, another thing too. So you can go on Zillow and look at remodeled houses. So go find a house that's clearly been flipped. You can tell when an investor did it, it might be staged or whatever. Start calling all the realtors that have listings right now active of investors of flipped houses, and ask them if their clients are looking to buy more houses. Because chances are, if they're listing a flip for their investor needs a new flip, right? Because they just listed their past flip. And this has worked crazy well for me. Like, I've done this, and first phone call, I found a buyer. Like, oh yeah, I just listed my flip, I need a new one. Okay, come check out mine. I have one on this street. So, even if you don't have one, call those agents and see if they know investors. Call the top agents on Zillow and ask them if they have investors. And that's, in a week, you can have a pretty decent buyers list, just from doing that. So that's where I would start. I would start with Facebook for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
And then also squat up with someone, other wholesalers, someone with a little more experience that might be well connected, and they have buyers. You can always squat up with them.
Okay. Are there any in this group chat, any investors or wholesalers that would like to partner for future deals? Because like I said, I don't have a problem getting sellers. I've gotten sellers. I just need to create a buyers list or run some type of campaign. Your advice, Carson, was really nice. I'll definitely do more of that. I'll get active with that. Are there any buyers here in the group chat interested?
Yeah, if you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, there's probably not a lot of people from there's people all over the nation out here, probably not a lot of people from those areas, but I have buyers in St. Louis. So if you get a deal in St. Louis, send it to me. I have a buyer in St. Louis that's pretty serious. So send me St. Louis. Columbia, I don't know anything about, but I do have buyers in St. Louis. I don't know if somebody else is on here from that area, definitely throw it in the chat.
Okay. I don't know how to contact you. What is your?
Yep, and I'll throw my information in the chat
We'll put
for
it in the
everyone.
chat.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the question.
Yeah, good question.
And, you
Okay.
know, please, I just put a comment in here. Join our Facebook group page, Wholesaling MI After Hours, Wholesaling MI After Hours. I added last week's video, Zoom video with Ron Woolraven. You can watch that about disposition. So you could join that group, would be great.
Oh, we got somebody from the Kansas area too, Omar. So he said he can help you with St. Louis. You might want to reach out to him.
Yes,
Sweet.
and if you have anything in Kansas City, I can help you with that as well.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, I see your information in the chat. I'm taking a picture of it. I'm taking pictures of the contact information with my phone.
Okay, if you go to the in the chat at the bottom, the three dots, and you click the more button, you can
Oh, I can save
you
it.
can save
Okay.
the chat. Yep. I just learned that last week, so
Will this save the entire chat, or like is it updated in real time? It will save the entire chat even
the
when
entire
we
chat.
hang up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for joining, Gabe. I see that. All right, what other questions do we have?
We have one from Eddie. Also, when cold calling, what percentage of dials do you talk to? Mike?
Yeah. Good question. What I've noticed is it's really anywhere from like 25 to 40%. So it probably averages around 30, maybe 35%. So about one in out of 10, you're talking to 3 to 4 people is your answer rate. So I mean, that's just dependent on, firstly, your data, also your phone number as well. Back when I first started, using a Google Voice number, using something like Mojo Dialer, if you're making hundreds and hundreds of calls a day with one single phone number, your phone number will get flagged, and it won't flag on everyone's phone, but there'll be certain carriers where if you pop up, then you're getting popped up as spam. So you'll see your answer rate go down. So do your best not to skimp on data, getting the incorrect phone numbers, wrong numbers, or bad numbers, you won't ever get an answer on. And then also, depending on what dialer system you're using, try to have multiple phone numbers that you can cycle through to help your answer rate. And then, at the end of the day, not everyone is going to answer their phones. Shout out to her. There's people on my list that I've legitimately called like 10 to 15 times and they just don't answer their phone. There's just some numbers that don't answer their phone, but if I put them in a text campaign, they answer. So at the end of the day, you're not going to get every single person on the phone. But again, make sure you're cycling through that list multiple times, because every day is a new day, right? Maybe one day somebody doesn't answer, but if you call them consistently for the next few days, boom, you get them on the phone. So, yeah, should have answered your question. Oh, and do you recommend driving for dollars or cold calling lists to find your first deal? We talked about this in the first week. Honestly, if you've got $300 to $500, I would just purchase a list, pay to get it skip traced, and then spend the rest on a dialer. And that's coming from a guy who did his first couple of deals from driving for dollars, which is perfectly fine. I was also broke. So that's about the cheapest way to go about doing it. Thankfully, you got to be grateful for the things you do have, right? I had a car, I had enough to put gas in, I went driving for dollars before work every day. And then I cold called while I was at work, my list. So, if you really are down and like you just don't have a ton of money, But if you're working a job, you have a little bit of money coming in, spend a couple $100 on a list and skip tracing a dialer. I would say go for it. I feel like that'll be the quickest way you get to your first deal. You can drive for dollars at the same time. Build your own list driving for dollars. Because driving for dollars lists are typically pretty hot because you're right there in the thick of it. Sometimes those driving for dollars leads are so fresh that they're not even on any other list out there. So if you're in a market that's maybe getting oversaturated or has some competition, you get a good driving for dollars list and kind of put you one step ahead of your competition. So, yeah, hopefully, guys, you can chime in, but
Nope.
It's just like you said, if you have more time, do driving for dollars. If you have more money, just go with the list because it's gonna be quicker.
yeah.
But yeah, that's perfect. Let me see.
That's about it.
My new bandit sign is TC buys houses with squatters.
All right, that's a good one.
It would definitely get a lot of attention. Or if you put something like bad tenants, you want to be careful with how you word that, but something along those lines, getting
we'll
those
just-
motivated landlords.
I was just gonna say we'll just touch real quick. Todd mentioned the boiler room, and then Eddie asked, and I dropped, villas. Shout out to Marine, she's the broker there, and Todd's a realtor there, real estate agent. Guys, if you have time on Saturday, this will be. You think this is helpful? Being in the same room with Carson and I will not be there this weekend. We're going out of town, but Todd will be there. Todd is a wealth of knowledge. He'll call your leads for you, answer every single question you've got. He'll show paperwork. He'll show anything you guys really need or want. He's right there, and you'll be in a room of other people, in the same boat, and just having those accountability, all those accountability partners, just other people in the room working hard will push you to work harder. So I seriously invite. The last one we had, that room was 15 people there. Ezekiel was on earlier. He was there. Mike, who's on, was there. Super valuable time, guys. You never know. You could walk out of there with a contract signed in your first deal, in the works. So if you got time Saturday to make it out there, I would say go for it.
Thanks, brother. Yep.
So
What else?
Any other questions? Just go to unmute yourself if you have a question.
some good questions for sure tonight.
I have one question.
Sure.
How do I, on the Meetup app or the website, how do I go about joining this particular group so that I know when other meetings come up? Because I just kind of found this by random.
I dropped the link, Bree, in the chat there. It's that
that-
long Facebook one. Yeah, if you just click on that and just click join, then you'll get notification. And if you've got questions throughout the week, you're working on a deal, drop it in that group. Obviously Todd, Carson, and I are all there. Everyone else is there, and if you got a question, they can get answered, and everybody can learn at the same time. So yeah, join that group for sure.
Okay.
So, yep. Let's see. Maybe some general stuff.
Anyone else have anything they're working on now? They might have some questions on, or
Well, that's okay.
nope. All right.
Everyone's got it all down, man. You guys should be teaching us. I love it. But and then too, throughout the week as well until next week, if you join the Facebook group, you can throw questions in there, and anyone in the Facebook group will answer them. If one of us does, if one of you guys has the answer, because for me starting out, it was really helpful to have Todd available to call and ask questions as I'm working through deals. just what's the next step? And I was blowing up his phone to the point where he like stopped responding to me for a second there. I'm just kidding. He never did that. But you know, throw him in the Facebook group if you have a question about a deal or anything. It's definitely not bugging us, and we'll all learn from it. So
Yeah. Oh, and you know, February is fast approaching, guys. You know, this is the January we had, you know, things section on the week. You know, we started week 1, we talked about lead generation, you know, how to find your first deal. 2 was acquisitions, 3 was dispositions, and then the last week was just kind of open air, kind of this format. So if there's a specific topic you guys would like us to cover,
Right.
you know, first week of February, you know, message us or drop it in the group. Or if you guys, you know, want to just spend one evening just calling sellers, something like that. Or, you know, we could even just spend one evening just role playing, you know, calling sellers or calling buyers, or, you know, yeah, just anything, guys. Like I said, you know, because February is coming up, and you know, it'd be great to have some topics moving forward. I mean, we'll surely come up with some, but if there's something specific you guys want to see next month, you know, please let us know so we can cover it.
Yeah, maybe we could start, that's a great idea. Maybe we start at one Zoom at 6 o'clock or something like that, or 6:30.
Yeah.
And
Or just like mindset. You know, I'm a big believer in like mindset. You know, coupled with anything in life, you know, you're not really going to go farther than your mindset will let you, you know. So we could just spend whole, you know, when even talking about mindset and how to develop your mind, you know, stuff like that, guys.
yeah, for sure. All right, well, I appreciate everyone that came on. Please join our Facebook group, and we'll be back here next Wednesday. We'll get some topics together for February, and we'll post it on our Facebook page. And we'll try to get, you know, I would love to call sellers or anyone, you know, not just any sellers, but if you have a difficult seller, or if you come across someone during the week that, you know, you could let them know and say, look, I want to sit down with my partner. He knows this, you know, we're gonna put our heads together. Would it be okay if we call you Wednesday around, you know, Wednesday evening around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that? That way we could call them right online. I could, you know, make that phone call, or Michael can make that phone call, Carson, whoever, and that'll be fun, you know.
yeah, definitely. We should definitely do that. Get on at 6 o'clock and do it till, you know, 8, something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And you could try to make some appointments where these sellers are expecting us, and then we'll call some good leads or solid leads. Now, we don't want, we'll take anything. I don't want to say we don't want to. Give us hard leads are great. That's really what I want. And we'll take the easy ones also.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate you
All right,
guys.
everyone.
Crush it.
Awesome. See you guys.
See you on
Till next time, be
Saturday.
good. Peace.